Welcome to everyone again, dear learners. I hope you are all fit and fine, and I am also fine like you. Dear learners, today in my new lesson, I will teach you how to make an interrogative sentences. Right. So this class is most important for you. So dear learners, don't miss any point of the video and let's pay your attention to my class so that you can know the important information about interrogative sentence, right? So dear learners, let's start our class. Today I will teach you how to make an interrogative sentence, right? Dear learners, we have to practice basic spoken English, or we have to communicate with others in our daily life. So I think that we have to ask anyone, right? Any questions by beginning any questions, right? And we need to make an interrogative sentences to if we are going to ask anyone, right? So then the interrogative sentences is most important, right? But if we don't know the rules of making the interrogative sentences, so how can we apply in your practical life in case of communications, right? So interrogative sentences is most important, but I will suggest to you, if you follow my rules and if you listen to classes attentively, it will be easier for you to make the interrogative sentences, and it will be very easier to apply in your practical life, that you can ask anyone from interrogative by making the interrogative sentences, right? So dear learners, we know that there are two ways to make an interrogative sentence, right? Please pay your careful attention so that you can't miss any point of my video. Number one, with help of WS questions or WS words, right? Dear learners, if you want to make an interrogative sentences, you have to use WS words, right? Who, what, how, when, where, whom. These are all WS words, and with help of these words you have to make the interrogative sentences, or you have to ask anyone with WS words, right? These are this is the first point. This is the first steps to make an interrogative sentences, that is with the help of WS words, right? And I will show you a lot of examples of interrogative sentences later on. So don't miss any point of my video, and keep a stay one video and keep watching my video. The second point is, or second steps is, with help of auxiliary verb, right? Or we can say it in another way, with the help of helping verbs, right? So we can ask anyone, or we can make the interrogative sentences with helping verbs. If we are going to begin an interrogative sentences, and if there is no any WS words, then we can begin the auxiliary verbs. We can begin the auxiliary verbs to make an interrogative sentences, right? So we have to know what are the auxiliary verbs, right? So there are a lot of auxiliary verbs in English grammars, we know, and we need to know that. I am going to share with you. These are the auxiliary verbs such as can, could, may, might, will, would, have, has, had, do, does, did, right? These are all the auxiliary verbs, and you have to use these auxiliary verbs in the first point, in the beginning of the sentence, to make an interrogative sentences, right? So I will show you the two structure of interrogative sentences. First of all is WS words. That means I told you who, what, how, when, where, whom. It will be used as a WS words when you ask anyone, or when you are going to make the interrogative sentences. Then who, what, how, whom, when will be replaced at the at the place of subject, right? Then the auxiliary verb will be placed after the WH question. Then then the subject will come, right? Then the main verbs of the sentence will come, and the main verbs will be in present form, right? And the main verbs of the sentence will be in present form and object plus extension, right? So at the first stage you have to use WH words. If you ask anyone who, what, how, when, where, right? And then the auxiliary verbs will be placed or will be used, right, after the WH question. Then subject will be used, right? Then the main verbs will be used, and the main verbs will be in present form. Then plus object plus extension, right? So I will show you a lot of examples of WH words with the help of WH words of interrogative sentences. Number one, when will you go home, right? This is the interrogative sentences, and when is the WH words, and with these words I have made an interrogative sentence, right? When will you go home? When is WH words, will is auxiliary verb, and you is the subject, right? When will you, and go is the principal verb or main verb, and go is the principal verb, and these verbs will be in always present form when you are going to make the interrogative sentences with the help of WH words, right? And object will be used after the main verb, and if there is anything of the sentence, then that will be used after the main verb, right? Thus we can make a lot of interrogative sentences. So dear learners, please keep watching my videos, keep watching my lessons, so that you can benefit it and you can get the main point how to make an interrogative sentences easily and confidently, right? When will you go home? And the second example is, what did he ask you, right? What did he ask you? In this sentence, what is WH word, right? What? And this sentence is in the past form, right? So because of having this past form, because of having this past form, we have used the auxiliary verb did after the WH word, right? Because this interrogative sentences is having in past form, right? And for having the past form, we have to use the auxiliary verb of past form, right, after the WH word. That means what is WH word, and did is the past form of auxiliary verb, right? And we have already used what did, and he is the subject. What did he ask is the main verb or principal verb, and the ask will be in the present form, right? And the main verb will always be in the present form in the sentence, and the extension is you, right? What did he ask you, right? And the number three example is, how do you solve this? How do you? How? That means how is the WH word, and do is the auxiliary verb. How do, and you is the subject. You have to follow the formula of interrogative sentences, right? You have to follow the formula of interrogative sentences with WH words, right? And if you follow the formula very well, and it will be easier for you to make the interrogative sentences at any cost, right? So you have to follow the formula or structure very well. So according to the formula, or in accordance with the formula, these sentences are done, right? So how do you Solve is the main verb, and the main verb will be always in the present form when you are going to make the interrogative sentences with WH words, right? So how do you solve this? This is the extension or the rest of the part of the sentence, right? So how do you solve this? Okay, dear learners, I hope I made myself very clear and I am clear to you. So if you have any problem, you can comment at any time in my video, in my comment box, so that I can help you to solve this problem, right? And if you like my video, please don't forget to share my videos with others, and don't forget to subscribe my channel if you are new. Structure number 2. In this structure, at the first stage of the sentence, or the first beginning point of the sentence, the auxiliary verb will be used at the place of subject, right? Auxiliary verb, and then after the auxiliary verb the subject will be used, and the main verb will be used after the subject, right? And the main verb will be in the present form plus object plus extension. By following this formula, you can make any interrogative sentences, right? And but if you practice every day, or exercise every day, it will be easier for you to make any interrogative sentences, right? So dear learners, I will suggest to you not to waste your time and pay your careful attention and follow my rules of interrogative sentences, how to make interrogative sentences with 2 steps or with 2 easy hours, right? So I can show you a lot of examples of interrogative sentences that I will start with auxiliary verbs in the sentence, right? So do you know them, right? When we are going to ask anyone, do you know them, right? But in the sentence, in the beginning of the sentence, you have to use the auxiliary verb in the sentence in the beginning of the sentence. Then the subject will come, and after the subject, the main verb or principal verb will be used, and the principal verb will be used as a present form, right? And the object will be used after the principal verb. And if there is anything, or if there is a rest part of the sentence, that will be used at the finishing stage or at the finishing point of sentences, right? Will you come back? Will you come back? This is the another interrogative sentences, right? And in this sentence, will is another auxiliary verb, and it has been used at the beginning of the sentence. That means at the place of subject, right? And after this auxiliary verb, the subject will come, and the principal verb or main verb will come, and the main verb will be always in the present form, right? And the object will come after the subject, right? Thus we can make a lot of interrogative sentences with the help of auxiliary verbs, right? Can you see me, right? We know that can, could, may, might, these are all modal auxiliary verbs, right? And we can also make the interrogative sentences with the modal auxiliary verbs, right? To can, could, may, might, shall, should. So with this modal auxiliary verbs, we can start to make the interrogative sentences, right? Such as, can you see me? Can is the modal auxiliary verbs, and after the modal auxiliary verbs, use the subject, and see is the principal verbs, and the me is the object after the principal verb. Thus we can make the interrogative sentences, right? So another example is, did you write the poem, right? Did is the auxiliary verbs, and it is in the past form, right? And we know that this sentence is in the past form, right? So if the sentence is in the past form, and you have to use the auxiliary verbs with did, right? And you have to start with did, right? If the sentence is the past form, if the sentence is in the past form. So did you write the poem? Did is the auxiliary verb, and you is the subject, and you will be used after the after the auxiliary verbs did, right? And write is the principal verb, and it will be used after the subject, and the rest of the part is the poem, right? So did you write the poem? So does he speak truth? Does he speak truth? And this is the another example, but there is another point of view, I think, that is, does why do we use does in this sentence? Because this sentence is in the present form, and the subject is in the third person singular number. But if the sentence is present form and if the subject is third person or singular number, third person and singular number, then we have to start with the auxiliary verb does, right? So does he speak truth? Does we have already used as an auxiliary verb because subject is a third person singular number and the whole sentence is in the present form, right? Does he and speak is the principal verb, right? So speak is the principal verb and the rest of the part is true. So thus we can make a lot of interrogative sentences by following the structure number 1, that is WH questions: who, what, how, when, where, whom, and with starting the auxiliary verbs in the beginning point of the sentence. That means at the place of the subject in the sentence. Thus we can make a lot of interrogative sentences. So dear learners, just one from me. If you like my video, please like and comment, give a valuable comment on the comment box so that I can help you. That's all today from me. Thank you all.